Hello teacups, what's brewing? Excuse if the camera is a little bit shaky, I'm just holding you up at the moment. I am just going to be doing a little bit of a decluttering and reorganization of my makeup today. So the last few days, I've been struggling a little bit just getting things out of my makeup drawers and everything. It was well organized and then the system's sort of broken down a little bit and now everything's just kind of full and in the wrong place and all of that. So what I'm really looking to do, I'm looking to change up my organization a little bit because the idea I had to organize it before isn't really working for me. And now I know I've got some pieces of makeup that need to be thrown. I know I've got some old makeup that I have replaced powder. When I hit pan, I think, well, there's quite a lot of powder still in there. But sometimes I just want more coverage real quick. So I opened up the new one and now I've still got the old one. And I'm just trying to clear out a lot of stuff like that. Additionally, I've also got some palettes and things that are beginning to lose pigment and just are probably at the end of their life in that regard because I've had them for a few years and I was holding on to them in my last declutter. And now I'm looking at them like, nah, it's time to just sort of refresh my collection. And I would say I don't have a huge amount of makeup, but the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm like, it's quite a lot considering I travel with it. If I were at home and I didn't have to move it, I'd have a lot more, but I have to travel with this and you have to edit yourself at some point. So I'm just going to take a little look through. I did order today one of these for my lipsticks. So accessibility is the name of the game here. Because at the moment, let me just show you what I've got. All right, it is a mess in here because I've started pulling things out. So do excuse me that. So once upon a time, there was a plan. And the plan was this. And I had eyeliners and things here. I had blushes and highlighters here. This used to be an organized lip drawer, face products. And then these were the eyeshadow palettes and it was all good. And I had storage in here. As you can see, it's not really working anymore. I'm really getting sick of having to dig through to find the thing I want. And I'm just not keeping it as tidy and I don't like it. And I'm keeping a lot of stuff here. So the idea at the moment is to try and get rid of this because this can go into my bathroom to replace something else. Hang on, I'll show you. I was having the same problem where the washing machine becomes kind of a catch-all for everything. So I bought a basket from IKEA. Now this does actually fold up and out. But this isn't working either. I'm just throwing everything in there. And I think that little toolbox thing will go really well in here because that is just an over-the-counter medicine pouch. And then the other things can just go in and they will be easier to manage because there's less tiny things in there. They'll be easy to reach for. So I have my lipstick storage. I do want to go through my lipstick collection and cut it right down. And then I've got other makeup organization arriving tomorrow from Amazon. So I ordered the lipstick organizer. I've ordered just a set of 3 kind of attached box containers. So same kind of idea, this kind of clear acrylic, the kind you would put brushes in, but I'm going to be sorting out my lip liners and eyeliners and liquid liners into those so that they're separate. So I'm not constantly looking for the one I'm looking for, you know, like here are my brow pencils, here are my things, in a way that the toolbox is not being successful. I've got too many things in each compartment and I can't separate them well enough. I've also ordered in the same vein, acrylic version of this kind of stand I use for my palette, which will extend less. So I'm hoping I can just replace this one. So just all of this is taking up a little less acreage on my makeup counter. So I don't mind these being out if they're organized. I don't mind these being out on the counter. I just need to be able to access everything and I can't right now. I had been resisting the lipstick stand thing, so I just think they always fall over and it never stays the way you want it to and all of that. But I'm desperate enough, I'm going to give this a go, I think. And as I'm changing things over, today I'm going to clear out my lipsticks and just anything else obvious from any of these places that just need to go. And I'm going to go through my drawers and do the same. So palettes that can just be thrown, any lipstick that's sort of coming up to the end of its life or out of date. You know, when lip gloss starts to go a bit goopy. I'm just going to get rid of it and try and clear out the drawers. And then we'll see where we are. And I'll probably finish up tomorrow because the other items will arrive. Fingers crossed. Okay, I've moved everything into here. These are some lipsticks I had in my drawers. I haven't cleared out all the drawers yet. These are the lipsticks we're going to be taking out. The rest of the stuff we're not dealing with right yet. I've got this for just some rubbish if we do end up throwing any. These are just little liquid lipsticks that I've had. I had a ton of minis from an advent calendar I had the other year, and I don't use a lot of them. Some of them are drying out. It's just time to clear them out. So liquid lips I'll probably put in here because I tend to use them as toppers. I don't need them in my main organizational kit, and they won't sit well in there anyway. But my hope is to get everything down just to fit into there and then be done. And now that I've cleaned that compartment out, this is what we're working with and the liquids. So let's get started. So we're going to start with some easy ones because these are all things I've bought within the last month. So clearly they're staying. A lot of these colors, well, not a lot. Some of these colors like this one and this one, I probably won't wear them on their own, but I do want to use them to layer on other colors to kind of nude them out a little bit. So this is a recent purchase, arrived a couple of days ago from Beauty Bay, and I'd never tried their lipstick formula. I'd ordered a couple of palettes and I'd ordered some lipsticks while I was there. So I'm going to be keeping these for sure. I really, really love the color sensation. I think it's Maybelline. Let's double check it. There you go. Color Sensation range by Maybelline New York. Really, really comfortable to wear. Now, a lot of the darker ones I wear, I'm just in kind of the mood for them for autumn. So this one, they're all very, very dark. But then I have some others, again, that are just a bit more wearable, a bit more on the beige side. This one, Gone Greige, is actually quite unpleasant on its own, but makes a good combination with other things. If you look, it's just kind of a grey, which is no good for me just on my lips. That kind of grey brown, it definitely is a greige, but it can be good to top something that's come out a little bit too bright or make something a little bit more cool toned, which is what I generally use it for. Same with some of the other kind of beigey brown shades. Sometimes I want to warm something up, sometimes I want to cool something down. So all of these are going to go in there because they are brand new and I haven't had a chance to use them very much yet. Likewise, these three are staying. This is a L'Oreal lipstick in the shade, oh, you can't really see there, but it's 235, which is nude. This has been with me for quite a while. I can't remember what this is. It's nearly at the end of its life, but I refuse to give it up. This is maybe, an X Factor. Oh, I don't often buy from them actually. And this is a Sephora Lip Story, which is definitely not my color by itself, but is a really good blender shade. So I'll just show you a few of these. This one is a really good My Lips But Better shade on me. So you can see the swatches there. The first two I tend to wear as everyday shades to work and things, or at least pre-masks I used to. I take my mask off when my room's sealed up at work and I am teaching, so I can put lipstick on then. And as I said, that one's a tiny bit too brown for wear on its own and a tiny bit too light for wear on its own, but makes a really good combination shade. So I'm keeping all those three. So a really big thing about this is I want the shade showing, or I want it to be obvious because I get sick of digging around, and I have problems with that when it comes to my MAC lipsticks because they don't show the color, they just have it on the bottom, but I can't store these upside down. Oh, that's not going to focus at all, never mind. Oh, there we go. So that's pretty hard to see, but if I can just grab it out and maybe group them by like tone over here, it should be okay. I am getting rid of a few of them. So once upon a time, I used to do quite neutral eyes, but then I used to wear really, really red lips. And I really liked MAC, or MAC's formula for their lipstick. So I used to wear them a lot. So I've got a lot of like very bright reds in this collection that I just don't gravitate towards anymore. Like I tend to go more for nude looks, or I tend to do very colorful eyes, so I don't need the red. So I'm probably going to keep one or two kind of bright red colors, but I'm going to get rid of some of the others because I just don't use them anymore. And they're getting kind of old now. It's time for them to go. So these are the ones that I'm probably going to get rid of most of them because I just don't wear a lot of these bright reds anymore. So we've got So Assured, we've got Ladybug, Vegas Volt, which is more of an orangey coral. And this one is Dozen Carnations. And I've actually got two of these because I used to wear this shade so much. It was my go-to. And that's probably the color I'm going to keep. But this one is in better condition than this one. So I'm going to get rid of this one and probably these others. I do have another red somewhere in my collection that isn't MAC which has some of the same tones. So I don't need all of these. I'm going to get rid of these 3 and keep this one. These 2 are the Powder Kiss formula, which if I'm going to wear a matte, that I just simply don't do that very often anymore. But if I'm going to, I tend to use this formula. Mullet Over is a little bit more warm, and as you see there, Sultriness is more of a pink tone. These are the survivors of the rest of the matte. I've put MAC right here. So we've got Marrakesh. I'm really gravitating towards these colours at the moment, so I'm definitely keeping that even though it's a matte. I do tend to top it with a gloss though to make it a little bit more wearable because it is quite dark and that can get a bit harsh. This is Smoked Almond, same kind of tone but a little bit lighter, but it's an... no, we're not doing that. Okay, this is the makeup wipe I've just used to clean off my hand. It's a new brand to me. Well, it's not a new brand, obviously, it's Scent Ives, but I was trying it out. I hadn't tried their makeup wipes before. They're not very good. I do not recommend them. But this is an amplified cream, so it's a little bit more wearable, but obviously it transfers a bit more. This is Velvet Teddy, which is a little bit more neutral, but is slightly warm leaning, but is a very easy wear. And then I've got 2 cooler tones right here. We've got the shade Faux and Brave, and they are both satins. I should have taken the tops off first, whoops. So they are more on the pink side, which is why I think it's okay to keep them because we've got some different tones for different looks. Let's just twist that up. Why not? Why not show you the products? This one, I tend to use to cool other looks down because I don't want a colour so much as I want the coolness when I've got quite a big eye look going. Okay, that leaves these in the collection. I've got 4 slots left, so I'm not going to keep more than that, but I do need to get... This is so old. Oh, I'm not even going to look at that. That's been there a while. I found that on the floor behind my dresser the other week, and I was like, oh, and I put it there just to check it. This is a random one I bought off of Amazon, I do believe. Art Deco. I don't think I special ordered this, but it ended up being a lot more kind of orange than I thought it was going to be. Oh dear. On the computer, this definitely didn't look this tone because I wouldn't have bought this tone. It might be useful for blending, but I think I've got enough in that regard, so I'm probably just going to get rid of it. You can see from the swatch here, it does look kind of like my jam in terms of the finish, like that kind of satin, but it's kind of a salmon orange and it's just going to look appalling on, so off it goes. This is a number 7 lipstick from Boots in the shade Ginger Rose, and that's the color it is. I think I'm going to get rid of this one. Ginger Rose, by all accounts, should be a perfect color for me, but it ends up just being slightly too bright for what I want. I think when I'm trying to wear it, I'm looking for something slightly more warm leaning, and this does go a little bit coral. So this is the kind of thing when I was like, oh, I'll just add some of that to it, it'll be fine. Nah, I've got enough here, I can just get rid of it. I just realized this is a liquid lip, a gloss even, so that'll go in with the liquid lips. So now I've got these. Okay, this, you guys, this is the finish on this one, and it's quite nice, but it's brand new, so I'm going to keep them because I've only just bought them. But these are, it's quite funny. But it's quite funny, but, you see the background? These are like a really shitty pirate knockoff brand that they sell in like the supermarket on Compound. And I bought them to try them out, right? And actually the finish, I've just swatched it and the finish of it feels quite nice. So I got a couple of colors, but I looked at them first and I was like, nah, like it's so clearly a ripoff. They've got lots of different types of brands ripped off. Like they had an eyeshadow that looks a lot like Huda. They had, oh, I did buy like their mini highlighter. Let me show you that, hang on. So this is their ripoff of the Ofra highlighters. So usually I look at it and just go, oh, I keep showing you, sorry guys. Usually I just look at it and just go, no thank you. But one time, guys, I was completely out of eyeliner. I didn't have a chance to get to the store. I needed some now. And they had an eyeliner in that collection. And I swear to God, it was the best eyeliner I have ever used. It was a liquid liner with like a felt applicator, and it never used to dry out. It went on smoothly. It lasted a long time. It was so cheap and I just loved it. And they stopped stocking it and it broke my heart. But now I'm just like, well, I'm going to try a few things. There's some things I absolutely won't. I'm not trying their foundation. It looks gross. But I'll try this little knockoff highlighter. I'll try the lipstick and we'll see how it goes. They feel okay thus far. I've only swatched both of them, but I'm going to give it a try. Okay, the last thing we have was a limited edition L'Oreal, I think it was L'Oreal, yeah, L'Oreal lipstick that I bought admittedly a while ago, but this is the color, this kind of bright orangey red, and it's a really good undertone for me, so I keep it because the festive season's coming up, and this is a really nice one for that, and I've got 2 slots left, so I can. Okay, now we're going on to this mess. These are all my lip glosses and my liquid lips. I don't generally, oh, I've forgotten one. This is a liquid lip. I don't like it. A lot of liquid lips now, they dry down to matte and they're so harsh. I just don't like them. That's going in the trash. So I'm going to have a quick look through these, and I expect I'll be getting rid of a lot more now. Start with e.l.f. These were the tinted lip oils. I very much enjoyed topping my lipstick with them. It just smoothed everything out. Like I said, I used to really be into mattes and then I wasn't anymore. They're just a bit too harsh on me now. So glosses are a really good way just to smooth everything out and still get use out of your makeup collection so you're not wasting too much. But this one is almost done. It doesn't look like it, but there wasn't a lot left, so I stopped using it, and you can see it's starting to separate a little bit, and this color just never really did it for me. It was a little bit too bright on top of things, so I think both of these can go. They've lived their life. Move on to Sephora. I didn't realize this lipstick was in here. Sorry, this should have been with the others, but this is going. It's another red. I bought it home, and then a tiny bit like crumbled out of it. I was so annoyed. But I was never really able to find a lip liner to go with it properly. And whenever I wear bright reds, I always wear lip liners because it just helps keep it under control and prevent bleeding a little bit. I haven't been reaching for it. I haven't really used it. It's going to go in the bin. Same with this is another Sephora. I think it was on sale at some point, so I thought I'd try it. Their Cream Lip Shine Metal. It looks actually very beautiful. But then you put it on and it dries down, it goes kind of flaky and crusty and gross. So it can be really good if you just want to like take a picture with it because it's quite dramatic. But in terms of a wearable thing, I really dislike how it feels on the lip and it's just a bit too much. So I'm going to get rid of it. These mini ones all came out of advent calendars and they're liquid products and it's time for them to go pretty much. The larger ones I did purchase after because I did end up really liking the Butter Gloss formula. This is a lip oil that came with it. I liked it very much, but the wand inside is a bit stained from when I put it on top of things and I just can't use it anymore. It's nearly at the end of its life. I'm going to throw it away. The pinks in the Butter Gloss, I never really seem to use. So I'm probably just going to get rid of them. I always think it's going to be a bit more neutral than it is because I pick it out and then I'm like, oh, it's pink. So I'm just going to take those out of this group and get rid of them. So probably this one. Yeah, this one's in the shade Soft Spoken. It was always just a little bit too much. This is the shade Madeleine, which isn't too bad. Let me open it up and show you. Because the formula isn't opaque and isn't intended to be, it can be good for topping off some of the other lipsticks I have that are more matte. So I'll keep that one. These lipsticks came with the advent calendar, but they are all matte. And to be honest, I don't love NYX's matte formula once it's set down. It's a little bit too drying, so I'm probably just going to get rid of all of those. I was keeping them because some of the colours were very deep, and that could be nice, but I don't think so. Use the call to prayer, it started. This one is actually their liquid suede rather than their butter gloss, which is intended to be a liquid lip, and as I say, I don't love their liquid lip formula when I'm using it on its own. So I'm probably going to get rid of this one, but I am going to keep this red one in the Butter Gloss formula because when I do wear a red lipstick, I really like this over it. It really finishes it off nicely. And for the same reason, I'm going to keep, oh, not that one. I don't want the pink, but I'm going to keep this one. This one is in the shade Praline, I believe. So this one is great on top of reds. This one is great on top of any really matte color because it's quite a versatile shade. This one I put on top of the Marrakesh, the really dark matte I have from MAC. And it's a really kind of warm autumnal color. I know it doesn't look it, but it combines really well with it. When I just want to make it a little less harsh, a little bit more smooth, and it complements like the dark colors very well and makes them look a lot better on my face. So I'm keeping these 3. Okay, so these are all the products I'm getting rid of. I've got just the 4 liquid lips in here. I just keep them separately because they won't stand up in here anyway. And then these are the lipsticks I'm keeping. I feel like I did quite well. Okay, teacups, it's the next day. We have finished work. We've not yet had dinner, but we're going for it. My different storage arrived, so I've just been organizing a few things. I've got some palettes still to go through. I will show you later, maybe the ones I'm keeping as well, if you're at all interested. But I've got some things to sort out. In fact, I'll just show you all of it, and then you can just kind of, if you like this kind of video, you'll know why I'm keeping things. I haven't cleared out as much as I thought I was going to. Emptied my drawers, emptied my things. I've got a lot of little palettes I need to look at because they're losing pigment and they're getting a bit old, and that's why, and all of it. But there's more stuff here than I realised in my drawers. Like I said, I still travel. It's not as big as it could be, but I'm not getting rid of as much stuff. It's really about refreshing it. Let's just keep telling ourselves that. So a couple of my newest palettes that I am keeping, of course, is the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence and the Wilderness palette. I literally just received these a few days ago. So can I do this without showing you the mirror? So the Age of Opulence, actually what I've got in my eyes today. I've got this blue, this black, and where is it? Jazz. This is the colour on the inside, and I've got a little bit of this champagne, which is actually more kind of yellowy greeny gold on the inner corner, which has been nice. And actually this one, Vintage, just to blend between the blue and the yellow shimmer. It's like a slightly darker shimmer to help radiate it out a little bit. I like it so far. It's been interesting to work with their formula. I had heard it was a bit finicky and you should go from dark to light. I've been trying that. It's been okay, but I haven't used a lot of the palettes at the moment, so we're still going for it. So I don't really know what I think of them just yet, but I'm going to keep trying them. They've got a good range of colours in those, so it's kind of interesting and exciting to use. The Wilderness one, again, let's try not to blind you with the mirror. Really enjoying this one. I did a kind of autumn look that was sort of brown, green, yellow, which was basically this third row in one of my reacts recently. Very much enjoyed it. Haven't had much chance to use any of the other shades though, so again, we'll see. But nice palette, it's very affordable. The quality seems good if the formula's a little finicky, but if you're willing to put the work in, you get pretty looks. So it's okay. The other ones I'm keeping that I've got regularly in here, I've got the Hasina 2 palette from Blush Tribe, which was a lovely little palette actually. I don't often use like all of them, but I dip into this black a lot to deepen up looks. The shimmers are really good. The khaki here, I really enjoy. So this kind of corner here is really great. And then if I ever feel like just doing a colourful look, it's a nice one. Very good formula. Unfortunately, Blush Tribe did close down, I do believe. I don't know if they reopened under another name or not, but anyway, unfortunately. But this is the Angelica Nicreased Kaleidos collab that I really like, called Club Nebula. And it's not available anymore, but Kaleidos do still sell a ton of stuff. I've got a load of highlighters from them as well, which I really enjoy. Very nice quality. They've got a new release, but I think it's a lip release at the moment. I haven't tried their lip formula, but very much enjoy them. It's nice. I'm keeping my Natasha Denona palettes. This is Sunrise, and this is the Love palette. Love palette is my absolute favorite. It's actually going to be relevant a bit later with one of the ones I'm getting rid of, but very much enjoy it. In the newer end of my palettes, I've also got the She's in Parties by Malt Cosmetics. I got this a month or so ago. I've been a bit of a makeup spree recently. Just kind of a purple. You can't really see here with this, I think this is called Skeleton Kiss, but it does have like a purple reflex. So I'm trying not to blind you with the mirror, but it doesn't bend back as far. So it's doing that, or do the beauty tube away where I do it like this. But it's a nice palette, it's quite compact. It's good for everyday wear because although those colours are quite dark, they do kind of blend out nicely. It makes a good day look compared to what I sometimes wear, which is less work appropriate. I have also got, this is actually a blush palette rather than an eyeshadow palette, but because I keep it with my eyeshadows, my Sigma blush palette arrived the other day and I'm enjoying it so far actually. My other blushes I think I'm going to have to cut down because they are losing pigment a little bit, and I'm noticing the difference. I don't know if I want to throw them just yet because I do really love them, but they are getting on. It's probably time for them to go, and that's kind of the point of doing this, so I might end up doing it yet. So I did recently buy Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture. I am enjoying it, but their formula is quite powdery and I find it a little bit difficult, but I love the color story of this so much because I've been in a real autumn mood and the color story is just beautiful. So it's new to me. I know it's not a new release at all. It's a very old release, but it's new to me. I do enjoy it. It just takes a little bit more work, but obviously I'm going to keep it. It's not something I've had a lot of use out of, and I could just adapt to their formula. I'd be interested to see. I don't know if maybe just because this is an older release, I'm finding maybe it's been in storage for a while. It makes me wonder if I went and checked out some of their newer releases, what the formula would be like. I'll maybe have to go and check that. Something I'm probably not going to keep, which is a bit of a shame. This is one of the PAX Colourpop release of their Super Shocks, the Dreamery. I did get this back home. I'm going to keep like one shade out of it, but it had just a load of shades kind of boxed up like this. And I've noticed I used to really love this, but I guess your taste change. I really like shimmers. I like them like this when they're quite opaque and you pull them on, but the full like really sparkly glitter kind of turns me off now. So I mean I've got some notable exceptions, but just how it looks at the end of the day, the tons and tons of micro glitter, I'm not necessarily looking for. Now I have got one exception. It's this shade. This is the shade Moonwalk, which is this really interesting kind of gold, green, brown shift, which I'm going to keep. But the others, I just think they're very pretty. They're very wearable colors. But they're not unique in any sense of the term. I've got them elsewhere in other palettes. I don't have them in singles. Like I can't just grab the single and be done. I'd have to have other palettes with me, but it's not enough. And the packaging is quite bulky. So even if I take it out of this, like these do take up space and I just don't reach for them very much. So I've had a little bit of use out of a couple of them as like inner corner highlights or when I've really just wanted to lighten up a look, but I don't reach for it. There's no point keeping it, you know? This one I really enjoy, very affordable. This is the Roaring 20s. I'm probably just going to keep it to the side though. I was a little bit sad. You guys can be very, very careful because the green shade on the Ritz right here, I opened it up the other day and it just popped straight out of the palette. I was like, oh no. The temperatures here, sometimes they're quite hard on like glues and things because they can loosen more easily because it's more extreme. But it's a very pretty palette. It's good to have on hand. It's got some interesting shades in there that I wouldn't buy another palette for, but just having them there is nice. And I'm gonna keep it. This one I'm getting rid of. Okay, so I stopped buying from Jeffree Star quite a while ago. I made the decision not to support his brand, and I decluttered a few of his other palettes that I already owned. But I wasn't gonna buy anything new, but I kept Blood Sugar because I loved Blood Sugar. Oh my goodness, you guys, I loved it when it came out. I really did. And when it came out, I didn't have these colors anywhere else. And that was one of the draws for me because it was a really nice palette, good quality. And I was like, okay, it's got all these colors in it, it'll be perfect. But I have the Natasha Denona Love palette now, which is the same kind of reds and pinks. And I find I don't reach for this very much. It's very bulky. It's getting on there in age. And I don't need it. And if I'm looking at other things that I love the Natasha Denona Love palette. So his formula is fine, but I'm not reaching for it and I'm essentially duping it other places in my collection. I don't really need it. So I'm gonna probably let this one go and just get this very bulky thing out of my collection. Another one, I'm gonna go through some of these smaller palettes actually, I think. I've got this mini one from Huda Beauty. I only picked it up actually, it's Gemstone Obsessions. It's perfectly fine. It's a perfectly fine palette. Like it's just a little one of, they're all shimmers, so you do have to use it in conjunction with something else. But I just find I don't use it. I've got some darker colored shimmers in other palettes and I don't wear them that often, but I find them quite useful for sort of blending through like lighter to darker, for example, or if I'm doing a transition from a lighter shimmer to a matte, sometimes a darker shimmer can just help that out a little bit. but I'm not using this one very much. I don't reach for it. I bought it because it was cheap and I was like, it was on offer. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it, but I don't use it. It's fine. This one I do use and I'm much more sad to leave. This is the Emerald Obsessions. I was having a lot of problems with her formula because, the micro glitter everywhere, you guys. But this one is beautiful, this shade. I really, really like it. It kind of actually looks a little bit like this inner corner one I've got on now, which makes me happy because it means I can use that one instead. But when I bought this, I didn't have anything like that at all. And now I've got more greens in my collection. I don't need this one as much, but it's losing pigment. It's been around for a hot minute now. And I can pretty much do most of these. The ones that I can't, I don't use that often. I'll live without it. So this is probably just going to go. Another mini palette that comes in greens that I actually really enjoy is this one. It was a limited edition one called Ganj from, I just had quite a funny moment. All right, you might have a weird cut there. I was showing you this and I was like, oh, I really love it. It's probably gonna survive. Like, if I'm throwing the Huda one away, maybe I'll keep this one. And as I opened it to show you, literally 2 pans dropped straight out. I've got a couple of shades in here I do like though still and still perform quite well. So I was gonna keep it. Now that it's just died on me and just fallen out, I might not. But what I might do is remove a couple of these shades and put them into a singles palette I have. We've got a couple by, this is Love Lux Beauty again. Winterwoods I quite like. I've always quite liked actually, but I do find that the colours are a little bit light and I'm more prone to having a bit more depth in my eye looks now. So I don't tend to wear these a huge lot. This colour right here I can actually duplicate with one of the Kaleidos palette. It's like a white with a purple reflect. This colour is very pretty. It's just a matte, but because I tend to find that a lot of mattes that are intended as a kind of lighter shades for me just match my skin tone, it's nice to have one that is actually a little bit lighter. I might end up just taking this shade out because it serves me well as a blender and a highlighter, but other than that, this one's gonna go. This one, For Love of Four, I should love this. It was a little bit too bright. When I saw it, I was kind of so-so about it, but I was already doing an order and I was like, I'll give it a go. And I just don't reach for it. Nothing wrong with it, just don't reach for it. So that's probably gonna go as well. On Cloud Blue by Colourpop, perfectly fine. I bought it thinking, oh no, I'm gonna be that pastel bitch, and turns out pastels just don't really work for me. One of those things that didn't really work. It's got a couple of really pretty shimmers. I hate the glitter in the middle, but like that kind of silver blue called Clear Skies is very pretty. But the palette is made of plastic, which is going to make it a little bit harder to dig out. So it's probably not going to be worth the effort. And I just don't use it, so I'm going to get rid of it. I have a singles palette right here that has some Luxie Beauty shadows in. Luxie Beauty, is it? They're quite old now, actually. But I've got one in there that I really, really love. And it's just sometimes good to grab. They're probably getting to the point where I should consider throwing them away, but they're going to survive this one. And this is the rest of the magnetic palette that I'll dig the other shades out and pop in. This one, Boudoir Noir, let's just butcher the pronunciation, is a little bit too yellow toned for me, which it seems really obvious. I actually bought it for somebody else who we didn't end up meeting up, so I couldn't give it to her. And so I ended up bringing it here thinking, well, I don't really have neutrals. I can maybe use a few of the shades. It's just not a great color story for me. I don't use a huge amount of neutrals, but I occasionally need the blending. But again, I find a lot of the Colourpop shadows, just the palette, sorry, they just don't go deep enough. They don't have enough range in the color. They tend to all be light or mid-toned, and it means I'm constantly pulling for other things, so I don't really need to keep it. I don't get a lot of use out of it. This one, I don't like glitter, but I've always loved this palette, which is weird. This is the Glitter Storm. It was a holiday special from Ciante London far too long ago. Like, I should have gotten rid of this a while back. But, and again, very neutral, which is not really me. But these glitters right here are beautiful. They're like two-tone and I've always loved them. And when I want something really easy for like a festive look, this works really well as a palette. But as I said, I was trying it out, I want to say a month ago, and I really noticed that the pigment was weaker than it used to be, and we're at the point now, they're not really drying out exactly, but I'm just not wearing as much glitter. So I think it may be time for go, but I did love this in its day. But it's old enough that I probably shouldn't be keeping it. Blueberry Muffin Palette. Guys, you did this journey with me. You remember how much I love it. It's a lovely palette. It's very affordable, very nice. My phone's just yelled at me to get a little closer. People hate it when they're like up my nose, but I'll move a bit. But very affordable, very nice. It's got some interesting tones to it. I like the grey. This one right here, Treat. This one right here, because I don't usually wear a lot of silver greys, but it means I don't have a lot of choice of them, so it's nice to have it there for when I need it. It's got a nice silver in it. The browns tend to buff out more pink than brown, I find, so I will occasionally, if I'm going to use this, add in a black. But the Stud Muffin is like a two-tone blue shade, which is really nice if you blend out like a pink in your socket, and then you put that over the lid. It's beautiful. And same with Tempting, is the same kind of tones, but slightly lighter. And it gives a nice kind of pink blue galaxy look. I like it. It's a very affordable palette. It's a good quality palette, and it's not dead yet. So it's still mine and I'm keeping it. The last one I think I've got here, this is actually a face palette, cheek palette. Tasha Denona. I'm a little bit sad. When I bought this, I was super excited about it. I got it on sale and I was really excited to try it. But in person, because I bought it online, it was just that little bit too dark. I have kept it because this cream blush right here, when I want a cheek colour that is just full on red, I'll use that. But I don't really love cream products, if I'm honest. And I do also have, when they did the mini Love collection, they brought out the Love Cheek Duo. And these colours work much better on me if I'm using them. So, and the highlighter isn't too dark for me. So this is a better fit for me. I'm going to keep this one, but I'm probably going to get rid of this one. Cream products should be changed out pretty regularly anyway. And the other shades just don't work for me. I wish they did. I probably should have gone in and swatched this in person. I didn't. So unfortunately, that's just a no. I think I was making a big Sephora order and then it was on sale and I was like, treat yourself. But it just didn't work out for me. I think that's about it. I've got a few face products and things, but I tend to use the same kind of face products. So the ones I've got are tried and true. I've got a few foundations that I bought just in case, but my issue isn't really the formula of it as much as the color. I'm very cool toned, I'm very pale, and I find most things are too yellow for my skin tone. So I've got a few things that I bought that aren't a perfect match to me, but I bought in case to have backups in case I ran out and couldn't get a new one delivered quickly. So I've just gone through and cleared out some of the older ones because I did get stuck in England for 7 months, and then you're like, oh, these are a bit old now. But I'll keep a couple just in case, but they're not perfect fits for me. And hopefully I can just keep finding a source for the one I actually use, which is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish in the shade Snow. That's the one I'm wearing today, and it's a good fit for me. So that's pretty much everything in the eyeshadows, you guys. What I'll probably do is just put this stuff away, and I'll just show you a quick shot of the reorganized makeup table, which is what the point of this was: reorganize the makeup, refresh the makeup, and just feel a little less cluttered through. So let me just show you that. Okay, so we reorganized this. This ended up being a bit wider than I thought, but it's okay. So we've got all the palettes I just mentioned in there. We've also got some highlighters, some face products. I didn't really want these here, but I forgot to get like a little container to put the face products in. So that's probably going to be my next buy, just a matching one, but in a little square to keep my sponge and my face powder and stuff in. But it's doing okay there for the moment, so it'll do in a pinch. We've got the lipstick I arranged at the beginning of this video, which has now gone there. This looks a little bit hectic, but is actually way better than it was, because these are all the coloured lip liners. These are the eyeliners, mascaras, and actually that's a glitter primer as well. And then these are all the coloured eyeliners. So that makes it really easy for me to just go in and be like, okay, I need this. I put my brow products in my brow products here as well, because they're black as opposed to colourful, so they're easy to grab, whereas when I put them in here, I can't find them. I haven't done a brush sort just yet, but this whole kind of area just feels clearer and easy to manage. And even though there's a lot of stuff, I can reach and I can see everything I need, which is nice. The toolbox I have before has been repurposed over here because it just works a little better for all this stuff. So all my makeup removal stuff, my wipes, whoops, knock something over immediately. Toothbrush, contact lens stuff, sunscreen, all of that good stuff. But it means this is far less cluttered and I'm enjoying it a lot more. So this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know I like decluttering, so I hope you got something out of it, and I will see you next time.